I wanted to pursue a career in the sport, and I had big dreams, big aspirations. Ever since I put on a pair of gloves, my dream was to become an Olympic champion. I didn't stop thinking about that dream really, and so my whole childhood, my whole life was pretty much based around that dream. My name is Togethxr. I'm a professional boxer, the current undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Ever since I put on a pair of gloves, all I thought about was that Olympic gold medal. To actually achieve my childhood dream was very, very special. It's one of the biggest privileges in life to represent your country in the Olympic Games. I'm 22 fights into my professional career. This is my first fight at home as a professional. You know, and it's not just a normal fight, it's undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. This is one of the most exciting fights in boxing right now, I believe. I definitely grew up in humble beginnings, but my parents sacrificed so much for me to be in the position that I'm in today. They allowed me to dream big dreams, and they made me believe that the dreams I was dreaming were actually possible. When I first started boxing as a 10-year-old, I think I was the only girl that I actually knew of that was boxing. I had to put the headgear on and just step into the ring just to get a bit of experience, just get a few fights. The minute I turned the headgear off, then there was obviously outrage with the judges, the officials. Women's boxing is such a huge sport, and even over the last few years in the pro game, how much the sport's actually grown in the space of a few years, it's absolutely incredible. If you go to any boxing gym now, it's packed with female fighters, and that for me is just the most satisfying part about this journey. I'm glad that I don't have to break down those boundaries anymore, that women's boxing is here to stay. Just the heart that you need to show, the grit that you need to show in boxing. It's not always about talent, it's about those other things as well, how hard you work. And I love that it's such a disciplined sport, and you need to be fully committed to the sport to do well in it. You wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today if it wasn't for the trailblazers and the pioneers that went before me as well, the likes of Deirdre Gogarty, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, these kind of girls. I have a chance to bring big time boxing back to Ireland for the first time in a long time, and I have a chance to become a two-weight undisputed champion in front of my home fans. And that's what real legacy is all about. Having a chance to inspire these young kids and making them believe that it is possible to fight in big arenas, and it's okay to have big dreams. Just looking back on the whole journey, really, this is definitely going to be the biggest night in my career so far. Oh, it's amazing. Just looking back on the whole journey, really, this is definitely going to be the biggest night in my career so far. I'm 22 fights into my professional career. This is my first fight at home as a professional. You know, and it's not just a normal fight, it's undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. This is one of the most exciting fights in boxing right now, I believe. And so I have a chance to bring big time boxing back to Ireland for the first time in a long time, and I have a chance to become a two-weight undisputed champion in front of my home fans. This is just yeah, it's going to be the biggest night of my career. I was always a very, very quiet person, never really said much, but I absolutely love sports. I was a real competitor. I was involved in every sport to get my hands on: soccer, track and field, a bit of basketball in school, but there's definitely something different about boxing for me. I wanted to pursue a career in the sport, and I had big dreams, big aspirations, and ever since I put on a pair of gloves, my dream was to become an Olympic champion. And every single day, I didn't stop thinking about that dream really, and so my whole childhood, my whole life was pretty much based around that dream. And so I guess that dream just formed who I am today as well. Yeah, I mean, I had to put the headgear on and just step into the ring just to get a bit of experience, just get a few fights. And the minute I turned the headgear off, then there was obviously outrage with the judges, the officials. But I'm so grateful that I had that experience, and it's amazing now that we don't have to do that with women's boxing. That women's boxing is such a huge sport, and even over the last few years in the pro game, how much the sport's actually grown in the space of a few years, it's absolutely incredible. And when I first started boxing as a 10-year-old, I think I was the only girl that I actually knew of that was boxing. But if you go to any boxing gym now, it's packed with female fighters, and that for me is just the most satisfying part about this journey. Well, I'm glad that I don't have to obviously break down those boundaries anymore, that women's boxing is here to stay. But I think there's a lot of similarities between the two. I was a huge competitor back then. I still am now. I love to win. I still do now. So there's definitely a lot of similarities between the two. But I'm so glad that I'm in the position that I'm in today. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be the person I am today, or in the position that I am in today, if it wasn't for the support of my family. They're my biggest supporters, my biggest encouragers, and it's just great having people around you who have your best interests at heart all the time. And when people are giving their opinions, the only opinions that matter to me are the opinions of my family. And yeah, I definitely grew up in humble beginnings, but my parents have sacrificed so much for me to be in the position that I'm in today, and I'm so grateful for them. They allowed me to dream big dreams, and they made me believe that the dreams I was dreaming were actually possible. So I definitely yeah, I'm just so grateful for both my parents. They were definitely my biggest influencers in life, and yeah, it's amazing. My favorite athlete growing up was an Irish athlete actually called Roy Keane. He's a soccer player. He's one of our best ever soccer players, but his attitude, his mentality were second to none. Just a real no nonsense type of person. Had an amazing attitude. Just a real winning mentality, and wasn't the most skillful player in the world, but he had such heart and determination, and he became one of the best players in the world at one stage. So him for me he was just someone who I really looked up to. It was obviously soccer was a huge passion of mine growing up as well. I played internationally for many years, but I think for me, there's just something different about boxing in comparison to all other sports. I think you learn so much about yourself when you're dancing between the ropes. And the minute I walked into a boxing gym, I think it just took hold of my heart. And in the end, it wasn't really a tough decision for me. I just knew that this is my sport, and this is the sport that I wanted to pursue. And yeah, just the heart that you need to show, the grit that you need to show in boxing. It's not always about talent. It's about those other things as well, how hard you work. And I love that it's such a disciplined sport, and you need to be fully committed to the sport to actually to do well in. And I just loved the whole gym, it really. Yeah, I mean, every 4 years I'm glued to the TV watching the World Cup, and obviously the men's World Cup. But you're every time Brazil play, it's such an exciting game. There's yeah, it's just so many talented players. Even the last year's World Cup, looking at Argentina win was absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I can't wait for the summer World Cup with the Women's World Cup. And it's the first time that the Irish team have actually qualified for the World Cup, so it's a history making team. So every single person in Ireland is going to be glued to the TV in the summer. So I actually can't wait. Well, I think right now it's probably between the USA. Have always got a really strong team. England have a strong team as well at the moment. So I think those two teams are probably the two favourites at the moment. So but I can't back the English. I'm gonna go for the USA. Oh, it means so much to me. This was a childhood dream of mine. Ever since I put on a pair of gloves, all I thought about was that Olympic gold medal. So to actually achieve my childhood dream was very, very special. And also when you're standing on top of the podium, you're hearing your national anthem going off, you're looking at the Irish flag going up. You know, it's one of the biggest privileges in life is to represent your country in the Olympic Games, and I had that privilege. And I had the privilege of even carrying my flag into the opening ceremony as well. One of the proudest moments of my career. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about fighting at home on May 20th as well. I have a chance to fight in front of my home crowd for the first time as a professional boxer, and the support I've gotten from all the Irish people ever since my amateur days is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, I think that was such an iconic night from for the sport as a whole, and obviously for myself and Amanda as well. But yeah, even the arena was so loud that night, and you couldn't even hear the bell ringing in between rounds. That's how loud the crowd was. That's how, you know, when the Irish and the Puerto Ricans get together, it makes for a loud crowd. It was such an epic night. So I'm so glad that my hand was raised at the end of such a historic night. But yeah, I think even in the hours afterwards, the streets of Manhattan were swarmed with Irish people singing and celebrating. I think like over 6,000 Irish people actually travelled over to the fight that night. It was amazing. So yeah, we definitely took over New York City that evening. Yeah, just thank you so much for all the support, and I'm so proud to be an Irish woman. I'm so proud to represent this great country for many years, and I have a chance to become a two-way undisputed champion, and I can't wait to put on a great performance for the whole country. I'm just so grateful to have the support. It's definitely a huge amount of. I feel like this is going to be the biggest night of my career, and the best night of my career. if obviously, please God, if everything goes well. So this is an amazing opportunity for me. So yeah, this is certainly a mountaintop experience. Yeah, it's gonna be an unbelievable fight. I think the clashes of style from both myself and Chantal Cameron. She has the style to make this another epic. It could be another fight of the year contender. The Amanda Serrano fight was fight of the year, and I think this fight is even going to be a better fight than that fight. So yeah, just tune in, and it's going to be an edge of the seat type of fight. It's at its absolute highest right now, but it's only going to get better and better as well. Some of the young talent coming up. I look at some clips of some young girls in their teenage years, and they're absolutely amazing talent, and I can only imagine what they're going to be like in 10 years time as well. So this is a very, very exciting time to be involved in the sport, and women's boxing is only going to get bigger, stronger, and better. Well, I certainly wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today if it wasn't for the trailblazers and the pioneers that went before me as well. The likes of Deirdre Gogarty, my Irish friend, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, these kind of girls who paved the way for me. But yeah, I mean, I just want to have an impact on the next generation, really, and that's what real legacy is all about. Having a chance to inspire these young kids and making them believe that it is possible to fight in big arenas, and to make a good living from them as well, and it's okay to have big dreams. So I feel very, very privileged to have an opportunity to impact the next generation.